がここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバンこの国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue the long-standing tradition of covering Japanese boxing here on True School Sports. True School Sports, the number one source for Japanese boxing in America, from an American. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you to everyone out there around the world in the USA and in Japan that's watching. And ayete yokata. Nice to see all you lovely people here again. Now listen, we have a very important fight in the flyweight division coming up in a couple days. You know, the flyweight division is very much a division that's starting to heat up. You know, Kenshiro Taraji has made his way into this weight class, and Kenshiro just put on one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, he came from the depths of hell, knocked out Seigo Yuri Okui in the 12th round while being down on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards. He holds the WBC title and the WBA title. So right now, he is the guy to beat in the division as far as I'm concerned. But listen, the IBF title will be on the line this weekend because we're going to have the Mexican champion making the first defense of his title. And I've never talked about him before, so this is my first time making a video about him. But you got the Mexican champion, Angel Ayala. Yes, Angel Ayala, very talented fighter, good fighter. Spent the last 30 to 40 minutes watching some of his fights. You know, I like how he goes about his business, you know. And then he's taking on one of boxing and one of Japan's true warriors, quite possibly the number 1 pound-for-pound hardest puncher in Japan. You know, he's very much in the discussion. Masamichi Yabuki, yes, Masamichi Yabuki, the 2-time light flyweight champion, moving up a weight class, stepping up to the plate, stepping up to take on Angel Ayala in a real Mexico versus Japan showdown on March 29th. So let's talk about it. So first and foremost, the fight that this card is going to be on is a stacked fight card. You know, it'll be March 29th. You know, these guys are the main event, but you also got, you know, Japanese super prospect Aoi Yokoyama on the undercard taking on GML Magramo. So I'm excited about that fight. And, you know, you got some good fights on this card. Now, listen, that being said, breaking this fight down, Yabuki versus Ayala, I think this is actually a really interesting fight because, you know, Yabuki, we know him for his punching power. We know that he's very rugged as well. But the thing is, see, Ayala, from everything I gathered, he's a pretty rugged guy himself. He's not afraid to get in there and be physical with his opponents. Just going through and looking at, you know, his career, you know, his last fight, he fought the undefeated 20-0 Filipino fighter, the Southpaw Dave Apolinario, and I felt like the fight was really close, but then Angel Ayala was able to close the distance and chop that body down and stop him via the body shots in the 6th round. He's got very good body shots, right? And then the fight before that, he had a very close fight with Felix Alvarado, a fight in which people thought he lost. Even the ringside announcer, the PA announcer, when they announced the decision, they announced that Alvarado won, and the card said Ayala won. So that was a disputed decision. That was a fight actually that they were supposed to have a rematch for, and Ayala had to file for an exemption with the IBF so that he can get this fight with Yabuki. So that fight will still be there. We know Alvarado is no joke. He's always giving people problems, been a champion himself. So look out for him to still be a factor in this weight class. But listen, Ayala and Yabuki is probably on paper to me, like going and looking at the styles and being objective and watching the film, it's probably one of the best Mexico versus Japan matchups I've seen in a while. I think, you know, Ayala is a very intelligent body puncher. I don't think Yabuki has fought a body puncher like this. Because like if you just look at Yabuki, right, in his last couple of fights, now I give Yabuki a lot of credit. He beat up, you know, my boy Sivanathan Nochinga, who I'm a big fan of, and he beat him up in 9 rounds. And really, he made Sivanathan Nochinga put his hands in his pocket. But like I would say, Ayala, from what I've gathered, he's probably the most intelligent body puncher, and he's probably the most physical guy Yabuki's fought in a while. Nochinga's not really a physical guy per se. So that's the intrigue of this fight to me. How does Yabuki handle the body shots of Ayala? And when Ayala eventually gets touched by Yabuki, will Yabuki's punching power carry up and be able to push back Ayala? Because if Yabuki can't push back Ayala, I'm telling you right now, Ayala is going to have a lot of success against Yabuki. So really intriguing fight, and it's making this division really intriguing because right now this division is pretty much controlled by Japan. I mean, Ken Shiro has 2 of the belts. Anthony Olasquaga is with Tekken Promotions. He's a Japanese. He's promoted by Mr. Honda, who's a Japanese promoter. Ayala is the only non-Japanese fighter or entity not involved here. So it's right now in these weight classes, it's Japan versus the world, and right now Japan is kicking the world's ass. So, looking at the fight, like, because I went back and I reviewed recent fights, and I was trying to figure out who would I favor in this fight? Like, who would I favor? And I don't like betting against Yabuki because Yabuki he's a hard guy to really gauge, you know? You don't really know how his punch power is going to carry up, right? But I like what I see from Ayala. I think Ayala, when he's 24, he's got good experience level being 24. And I would say I'm gonna lean towards a slight Ayala decision. I don't think he'll stop Yabuki, but I think Yabuki will give enough resistance to take him the distance. And I think Ayala will outwork him to a decision. Now, it's iffy because the fight is in Japan, right? And it's a fight on Tomohiko Kameda's promotional card, 3150 Promotions, which they're not... The reputation that they have in Japan amongst people I talk to is that they don't, things don't go the best out there, right? In terms of fairness and fair play. So we'll see how it goes. But I would say I would lean towards Ayala taking this fight the distance and outworking Yabuki. But it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war of attrition. And if anybody folds at all, someone's getting stopped. Both fighters have been getting good sparring for this fight. Yabuki's been sparring with Christopher Rosales, the former champion who we know just fought Ken Shiro. And oddly enough, Yabuki did defeat... not Yabuki, Angel Ayala already defeated Christopher Rosales. So, they're using one of his ex-opponents to spar. So there's that. And then Ayala did spend some time in Osaka. He was out there with his buddy Ken Brun Torres. Ken Brun Torres is like a gatekeeper, fringe contender who's, Mexican but lives in Japan. So he was out there sparring some other guys at Osaka. So I think these guys have both gotten good sparring for this fight, good preparation for this fight, and I'm expecting a war. But I would slightly favor Ayala. But again, I'm not really the most confident because I know Yabuki's packing them bricks in his hand. But I like what I saw from Ayala on tape. I liked how he leads with the jab. I liked his activity. I liked his placement of his body punches. I think sometimes Yabuki, for as hard as he punches, sometimes he loses his technique and squares up, and you can punch down the center of his defense, and it's like it's that exact reason why Yabuki, while he has knocked out Ken Shiro, it's also the reason why Ken Shiro knocked him out. It's also the reason why all those years ago when he fought Seigo Yuriokui put this guy out in one round, because Seigo Yuriokui, what does he do very well? Seigo Yuriokui shoots his punches very precisely down the middle. So I just think that that's in play here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this fight plays out. I think on paper, in terms of excitement and styles, this could be one of the best Mexico in Japan versus Japan fights in years. And in my opinion, Mexico versus Japan is the best rivalry in boxing. It always delivers in these lighter weight categories, and these are two very proud boxing countries. I would say these are two of the top 3 boxing nations. I would say, like, in no order, not to rank them, but I would say Japan, America, and Mexico are the 3 best boxing countries in the world for me. So, yeah. On that note, you guys, let me know what you think. Ayala versus Yabuki, WBC title online in the flyweight division. Things are heating up, so leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.